Hello, hello, this is Fear Dragon coming at you with another StarCraft 2 netcast. Today we have a Protoss versus Zerg from the Late Night Quickie number 2 series, round of 8. So if you haven't watched any of the other ones, you can go ahead and click back through my archives. Don't worry, I'll wait. I'm not going anywhere. Check out those videos. We actually have both of these players having been played, or haven't played from some of the previous rounds. I believe Wuler played in the round of 32 and Bennay played in the round of 16. So we have a slight idea about how both these players did. Let's go ahead and introduce them both. Spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have the green Protoss player. We're going to talk a little bit about what he did in his last game, which was a Protoss versus Zerg. His name is Bennay. And his opponent, spawning the top right-hand corner of the map as the pink Zerg. We're going to find out what he's up to, as his last game that he played was actually a Zerg versus Terran, so a little less informative. But still, his name and his battle cry will be Wuler! I don't know where that came from, so don't ask about it. But anyways, we do see Bennay kind of chilling out over here with his probe, doing that very normal Forge Fast Expand, as Protosses do love to do Forge Fast Expands. It's actually surprising when they don't do a Forge Fast Expand. But in that last game, oh, actually very interesting. It looks like Wuler able to get down that little hatchery a little bit faster than usual, as oftentimes this probe over here can be so freaking annoying. I know I love to be super annoying to other Zergs with my probe. You can make some rage so far, and even if you decide, hey, I don't want my probe to stick around here anymore, you just plop down a pylon over here and say, I'll lose it eventually, but it's fine, they can't expand. Anyways, it looks like in the last game, Bennay did decide to go for that regular old Force Fast Expand, kind of opened up pretty safely, and eventually decided to tech into a bit of a, I think it was a Blink Stalker. I might actually have to double check on that, but I know he did some Stalker aggression, or at least attempted Stalker aggression, and it ended up working out kind of okayish for him. He actually decided to do some aggression, warped in a round of units as proxy pylon, and then got attacked by a huge Zerg army. So that was a little bit unfortunate for him, but it ended up working out okay and just fine for him. He's actually going to be doing a bit of an interesting decision, going for the pylon a little bit later, going for the gas before pylon. It's actually really interesting. Oftentimes we do like to see, oh, actually, no, we see another, no, this is a cannon, yeah, so going, Nexus, then cannon, then gateway, then gas, and then pylon. So, you know, honestly, I don't like that style too much. It doesn't make a huge difference in your build, but it does delay making those probes just a little bit longer, because you are supply blocked over at 18 probes, so we can already see that, you know, Wuler inching a little bit ahead in that worker count. Not a huge lead, but you know, now we do see Wuler looking to go ahead and take that very quick third. So we're not going to be seeing any kind of two-base roach aggression from Wuler. That is always a sigh of relief as a Protoss player, as, you know, that two-base roach aggression can ruin a lot of builds, especially if you mess up that very important sentry micro and those good old force fields on the ramp. It can sometimes be a little bit difficult to hold, but luckily for Bennay, he's not going to have to worry about any of that. Now we do see a little bit of a scouting drone making its way across the map, scouting over and seeing, yes, my opponent did in fact Forge Fast Expand, and yes, in fact, this cannon is going to rack up a single kill, as they do quite a bit of damage, actually two-shotting those drones, and I believe also two-shotting Zerglings. But, you know, he's going to feel comfortable thinking, like, okay, my opponent has not cannon rushed my natural. I think that this Overlord might have gone by his third, so he should feel pretty comfortable knowing that his opponent hasn't cannon rushed his third. He doesn't have to make a whole lot of Zerglings. We can see here on the map, there are 0 Zerglings on the map, actually. Just now, 2 being produced, probably just to grab hold of the Zelnaga Watchtower, just kind of being used for poking and prodding, and I really like that play. Play as greedy as you can as Zerg. We can see here, this is about as greedy as it gets. 11 drones being made, Zergling speed being researched, grabbing here gas geysers. But meanwhile, it looks like Bennay continuing that same style he liked to go for in the last game we saw him in, going for that Twilight Council. Looks like we might be seeing some kind of 6-gate Blink Stalker aggression. We also see that +1 weapons research almost being finished. It looks like he's even chrono boosting it out. Might be wanting to go for a +2 Blink Stalker timing attack. And going to be interesting to see if he does decide to go for that. We do see, there we see it, 1, 2, 3, 4. With the addition of this one, that's 5 gateways. Can we have a 6th gateway? Can we have 6? Looks like for now, no, that probe's just going to go ahead, back to mining. He's done his job. He's going to get paid, so he doesn't really care. He doesn't need to work overtime anymore. But it looks like we do see one of those Zerglings actually being sacrificed just to get a little bit more of that scouting information. We do see a proxy pylon going out, and a very interesting decision to send in that probe immediately afterwards, as you know, that does kind of give away potential for a proxy pylon. Oftentimes, where there's a probe, there's a proxy pylon. But it looks like for the meanwhile, Wuler is not going to be scouting in that direction, so not going to be scouting this very, very nearby proxy pylon. We're going to have to see if that ends up working out in Bennay's favor. But for now, we do see a double elevation chamber going down for Wuler. Still just madly droning up like a frick. There's no other word for it other than like a madman. I mean, if you're doing something mad, you must be a madman. Mad Men, great series, by the way. But, yeah, it looks like Wuler just starting to get on that creep spread. So really just powered that economy. We can already see 65 drones, and wait for it, there's going to be 11 more drones. So he's going to be up to 76 drones. That's actually obscene to see at the 9-minute and 30-second mark, and we're going to have to wait and see if Wuler is going to be able to hold off of this aggression that Bennay is doing. Now, Bennay is not doing very much of an all, and we do see actually all 6 gateways down now over here. 7th gateway actually coming down. That does make this aggression a little bit more difficult to transition out of. But here we see the Stalkers have already warped in. The Spine Crawlers are a little bit late to go up. Now Wuler is going to be in a huge bit of trouble. Let's take a look at the unit counting station. There are 0 attacking units, and he is most certainly going to lose this 3rd expansion unless Bennay decides that he wants to give his opponent this game. Now, the blink on to try and pick out a couple more of those workers. And unfortunately for Wuler, workers is actually one thing he can afford to sacrifice at this point in time. So even though he did lose that 3rd, I actually think he's not in a terrible position. He does need to get this Stalker Force to you know, back off a little bit, though. If the Stalker Force does move up and is able to take out all these Spine Crawlers, he will not be able to defend, I don't believe. And there's the blink in, a questionable decision from Bennay, and the Zerglings are getting a very nice surround on those Stalkers, as well as the drones moving in. The Stalkers blink back to get rid of that surround on them, but it looks like at this point in time, the Zerglings are being eliminated. There's only drones left over, and we should be seeing another warp-in round. Here is the other warp-in round. They're going to be walking across the map, and it looks like these Stalkers doing a great job kiting this massive number of drones. That is every single drone that Wuler owns. And even though that did rhyme, that's not actually a cause for a happy celebration. Wuler, despite having 76 drones, dropping to 29 drones, 26 drones, 24 drones, it's just plummeting and plummeting. Let's take a look at the workers killed. 49. Oh man, he's pretty soon he's actually going to be up to 6. No, he's never going to even hit 64 at this point, actually. I don't think. No, he might actually hit 64 workers killed if he has exactly 1 worker when he survives. And the reason why I bring this up is because Nintendo 64 is awesome. And also 64 is a power of 2. So, yeah. Anyways, it looks like Wuler might not. No, Wuler's not even going to be able to clean up this paltry force of 4 Stalkers, and 4 additional Stalkers are coming in. Bennay taking the game. There's the GG. A well played from Bennay. And yeah, a fabulous game. Just kind of showing Zerg players, you cannot win the game by only making drones. You have to make something other than drones at some point, or this happens. And really, I was questioning some of Bennay's decisions, blinking straight into that natural expansion past that Spine Crawler wall, but it looked like it ended up working out quite well for him, as honestly, the Spine Crawlers kind of became invalidated a little bit. I actually would have liked the decision more, maybe if he'd blinked a couple of his Stalkers in and kind of ran them up, then allowed his rest of his Stalkers to blink up over here. But hey, what can I say? Bennay won the game. And I didn't really have an ending rhyme for that. So that's pretty much going to be it. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed my video in any capacity whatsoever. Follow me on Twitch TV. Follow me on Twitter. That's twitter.com/FearDragon64. Twitch.tv/FearDragon64. This has been Fear Dragon, and I will see you guys next time. Round of 8, Bennay advances. See you guys in the round of 4, guys. Well, actually, there's one more round of 8 game coming after this, so stay tuned for that. Oh man, look at this upgrade. That's really sad.